Hi, it's Kevin Lebates here. So normally during weekdays I post stuff about blockchain, and then at the weekend I sometimes post something about entrepreneurship or an attempt at humor. So today I thought I would talk a bit about some videos I watched recently where people on LinkedIn who have tens or hundreds of thousands of followers talk about how to grow your following. This appears to be a very hot topic in LinkedIn and something that people want to know more about because these people get an awful lot of likes and comments. I watched one video which was 30 minutes long, and I watched every single second, and I have some notes here. Basically what I deduced from the video is that in order to grow your following, you need to, 1, post regularly, 2, present yourself as an expert, preferably on how to grow your following, and 3, build your network, which I don't have a huge following, so I don't think that I could count myself as an expert in growing your network. But I thought these things don't really tell me what I should do in order to increase the size of my audience. It's not something that I've obsessed about, but given that I have no real qualifications in order to talk about this, I thought I'd do it anyway because it's my weekend post. So I actually have a list of 7 things that you can do in order to grow your network, and I'm going to go through them one by one. So the first one is post feature lists. People appear to like things where you have a number of different things, 6 ways to prepare an avocado, or 5 things that you did not know about the city of Ljubljana, or something like that. So that's hint number 1. And number 2 is to monitor what's going on in LinkedIn. So that when things kick off and people are actually engaging with you, you respond back. So that's hint number 2. Hint number 3 is don't take offense. If you express an opinion on LinkedIn, there is going to be somebody who will take offense and post something angry, and it's very tempting to come back with a defensive, or rather an aggressive defensive response. This doesn't achieve anything for anybody, and it's an instinct that I think you need to fight because it's not constructive and you just end up in a mudslinging match. It's much better to respond politely. Plus, it gives you a certain air of gravitas, which I think is useful if you want to put yourself across as an expert. So point number 4 is to cherish the different. So you're going to have a lot of different people with different backgrounds, different levels of expertise, different opinions. And I personally find it really something that I'm happy about on my sort of LinkedIn presence, that there are people from a wide different number of backgrounds with different opinions posting their comments on what I'm talking about. So I think there's real value in diversity, and I think it's something that you should encourage. So unless you want to be in an echo chamber with clones of yourself, then I think that's an important thing to do. If you do just want to be in a room with clones, then it's probably better to go off and form a cult rather than try and build up some kind of presence on LinkedIn. So tip number 5, build a niche, an area of expertise, and then expand out beyond it a bit to see what areas people are actually more interested in. So I've started off with blockchain because it's what I'm passionate about, and I'd say that's probably your best thing to do if you're going to post content regularly, is post on something that you really enjoy talking about. Otherwise you're going to run out of things to say very, very quickly. But then you don't want to lock yourself down as the world's #1 blockchain hyperledger fabric chain code optimization expert. That would be very, very narrow. I'd say, you want to explore around a bit and maybe even move outside your own field occasionally, just so that you can see if there are other people who know stuff about things, then they can actually educate you, because we're all in this together. Hint number 6 is to have some kind of trademark. So for example, I know one person on LinkedIn who also has a lot of presence on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that, whose trademark is swearing and referencing his love for the New York Jets. So that kind of gives him an immediate personality and character. And I know another one who does all his posts from stands in front of different pieces of modern art. So it kind of adds a little bit of extra spice. Now, it looks like my trademark has ended up being walking around in the snow, and that's in hindsight, not a very wise choice, because although there is snow on the ground for 6 months in Finland, we're now coming into summer, and if you see in the background here, that's the last remaining snow. The woods are clear, so I made a bit of a mistake there, but never mind. And finally, hint number 7, if you really want to have lots of engagement on your LinkedIn feed, is to post articles about how to grow your network. So I've determined this empirically. Looking around, basically the more people post about how to improve your feed and how to improve your presence, the more following they seem to get. So you know, if you really want to have, for some reason, 100,000 followers, which you know, I personally is not a burning desire of mine, but if that's your goal, then I'd say your best bet is to post articles like this one on how to grow your following and how to increase your presence in LinkedIn. So there you go. I've managed to do this in just under 6 minutes, and I've had 7 points rather than 3, and I'm sure you'll agree that they are much more constructive than a lot of the stuff out there. So go forth, follow this advice, and report back. Let me know how well it went. And I'll see you in the next post on Tuesday, when I'll return back to the good old topic of blockchain. Bye for now.